Most money problems don't begin the way people think they do. They don't begin with reckless spending. They don't begin with laziness. They don't begin with people being bad at math. They begin quietly. They begin with reasonable people making reasonable choices that don't feel dangerous in the moment. A jacket you didn't plan to buy, a phone accessory you might as well get, a pair of shoes that seems like a good deal today. You don't feel irresponsible. You don't feel reckless. You don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. You feel normal. And that's exactly why buy now, pay later works so well. Because buy now, pay later doesn't feel like debt. It feels like relief. It feels like flexibility. It feels like control. But here's the uncomfortable truth that most people don't want to hear. Buy now, pay later is often worse than credit cards. Not because it charges more interest, not because it looks scarier, but because it doesn't look scary at all. And when debt doesn't feel like debt, people stop defending themselves against it. That's when it becomes dangerous. Buy now, pay later, or BNPL, is simple on the surface. You buy something today. You split the cost into smaller payments, usually 4. 1 now, 3 later. No interest, no credit card, no long application, just a few clicks and approval in seconds. It feels modern. It feels friendly. It feels like the future of money. And for many people, it feels like the first financial product that understands them. Because it doesn't judge, it doesn't ask many questions, it doesn't remind you of past mistakes, it just says yes. And that yes is powerful. But the problem with buy now, pay later is not what it does at the beginning. The problem is what it teaches your brain to do over time. To understand that, we need to talk about how your brain actually experiences money. When you use a credit card, something happens mentally. Even if you don't fully notice it, your brain registers a warning. Interest rates, credit limits, statements, due dates. Credit cards come with friction. That friction creates awareness. When you swipe a credit card, your brain understands, I am borrowing. Even if you ignore the consequences, you still feel them. That feeling acts like a speed bump. Sometimes it annoys you, sometimes it slows you down, but sometimes it saves you from yourself. Buy now, pay later removes that speed bump. It replaces it with something much softer, a small number, only $25 today. Your brain doesn't process that as debt, it processes it as affordability. It doesn't think about the total cost. It doesn't think about future obligations. It thinks, I can handle that. And because humans are wired to prioritize the present over the future, that thought feels comforting. Future payments don't feel real. They feel distant. They feel abstract. They feel like someone else's problem. That someone else is future you. And future you is always optimistic. Future you believes things will be easier. Future you believes income will be higher. Future you believes everything will work out. So your brain signs future you up for commitments without asking permission. That's the first psychological trap of buy now, pay later. It separates the decision from the pain. Now let's talk about the second trap, stacking. One buy now, pay later purchase rarely causes problems. 2 purchases usually don't either. The danger starts when buy now, pay later becomes a habit instead of an exception. Shoes today, headphones next week, clothes after that, a kitchen gadget, a phone upgrade. Each purchase feels manageable on its own. Each one is framed as a small payment. But debt doesn't live in isolation. Debt accumulates. And buy now, pay later is designed to hide that accumulation. Credit cards show you one balance, one number that grows when you spend. That number is uncomfortable to look at. Buy now, pay later doesn't show you one number, it shows you fragments, small pieces spread across time and apps. Your brain is terrible at adding these fragments together. It underestimates them. So while you feel in control, your obligations quietly grow. Think of it like feathers. One feather weighs nothing. 10 feathers still feel light, but keep stacking them. Eventually, the weight becomes unbearable. And when that moment arrives, people don't often understand how they got there. They look at their bank account and feel confused. I don't even remember buying all this. That confusion isn't an accident. It's the result of fragmented spending. Now comes the third trap, stacking. Credit cards usually have one due date, once a month, same time, same rhythm. Buy now, pay later spreads payments everywhere. Different days, different weeks, different platforms. Your brain is not designed to track this many financial obligations, so people miss payments. Not because they don't care, not because they don't have money, but because life is busy, and buy now, pay later quietly punishes mistakes. Late fees appear, accounts freeze, stress spikes. And here's the part most people don't realize until it's too late. Many buy now, pay later services don't reward good behavior. They don't help you build credit when you pay on time, but when you miss a payment, suddenly they remember your credit profile. The consequences show up fast. So you get the downside of debt without the upside. Now let's talk about the phrase that sells buy now, pay later better than anything else: no interest. Yes, many BNPL plans charge no interest, but no interest does not mean no cost. Late fees exist, penalties exist, and the biggest cost is invisible: more spending. When payments feel smaller, people spend more, not intentionally, not irresponsibly, psychologically. When something feels affordable, resistance drops. That's why buy now, pay later companies partner directly with checkout pages. They don't want you thinking long term, they want you acting emotionally. Which brings us to the most dangerous part of buy now, pay later: timing. Buy now, pay later doesn't show up when you're calm and rational. It shows up when you're tired, late at night, after a long day, during sales, when your self-control is weakest. That's not an accident, that's design. Credit cards force decisions earlier: limits, applications, declines. Buy now, pay later removes those barriers right when your guard is down. It's like driving downhill without brakes. At first, it feels smooth. Then you realize stopping is hard. This is why buy now, pay later feels so different from credit cards. Credit cards are honest about what they are. They're borrowing. They come with warnings and consequences that are visible up front. Buy now, pay later feels like budgeting, but it isn't. It's borrowing disguised as convenience. Now, let's be clear. Buy now, pay later is not evil. It's a tool, and tools are not good or bad on their own. Used carefully, used rarely, used intentionally, buy now, pay later can help manage cash flow. But that's not how most people use it. Most people use it emotionally, and emotional borrowing is dangerous. Credit cards shout when you're crossing a line. Buy now, pay later whispers, and quiet debt is the hardest debt to fight because it doesn't trigger fear early, it delays it until the moment it arrives all at once. That's why so many people today feel financially stuck, not because they made one huge mistake, but because they made many small ones that didn't feel like mistakes at all. So here's the most important question you can ask yourself. Not, can I afford the payments, but this: would I buy this if I had to pay the full price today? If the answer is no, that's your warning. That pause is where control lives. because money problems don't come from disasters, they come from patterns, and buy now, pay later encourages patterns that feel safe until they're not. Understanding this doesn't mean you never use it again. It means you stop using it blindly. It means you recognize that ease is not the same as safety, and silence is not the same as harmlessness. If this changed how you see buy now, pay later, that's the point. Because financial freedom isn't about avoiding every mistake, it's about seeing the traps before you step into them, and the most dangerous traps are the ones that look helpful. Subscribe if you want to understand money before it becomes a problem, because once you hear the whisper, you can finally choose to stop listening. Thanks for watching our video. Please like and subscribe our channel to watch more informative videos. Don't forget to press the bell icon and get notification of new videos.